Our wonderful listeners, great Nigerians, welcome again today on the Odyssey of St. Moses, the eventful journey of life of St. Moses Ogbonna. This is the part 6, or rather the 6th edition of this program. And I also want to believe that you are enjoying every beat of us. And for those of you who believe in God, I'm sure the last story touched you. How a man traveled with hope, with belief, with faith and trust in God from his home in Abia State down to it without a dime in his pocket. Successfully, he did that. Who did it for him? That's God. And that is where we stopped last week. And today we are continuing. And then very soon we will open the phone line. Even as we move on, if you have a question or if you have a contribution, you can as well make. And that is our phone number is 07033673900. I take it again, 07033673900. You can call us and make your contribution, and as we take this part 6 of Odyssey St. Moses, or Odyssey of St. Moses, the journey of life of St. Moses Ogbonna. St. Moses, you're welcome to today's program.
Thank you very much.
Right, last week we stopped at your movement from your village, even without a dime in your pocket, to Enugu, and you successfully met that journey. Before we move on today on the next part, while you were doing all this, what motivated you? What gave you this assurance that you were going to be in Enugu? Because you dressed and had a belief that you'd be in Enugu, yet you had no cover.
You see, many people say that faith is a substance of this, substance of that.
Faith is the substance of things not seen, and evidence of things you cannot also touch, something like that.
That's not what I call faith. Faith is when you believe that God is ready to fulfill every promise He has made to you. That is faith. The only thing you need in your faith is to remind God, this is the promise you have made me. I know you won't fail. Because He said, if you believe in me, I will never allow you to be put to shame. Yeah. There are grammars you cannot find in God's dictionary. Disappointment is not in His dictionary. Being stranded on the way is not in His dictionary. Not being successful is not in His dictionary. You see, when you know that those languages or wordings are not in His dictionary, a pastor from America wrote me day before yesterday. He said that he wrote things about God, how we will see God, how we will know. I say, I don't agree with him. But I am God. You are God, depending on which side you are. If you are the giving side, you are God to give. If you are the receiving side, you are God to receive. So when God has given you, are they calling us?
Yes. Let's see if we can take this call. Hello? Hello? Yeah, go ahead, sir.
Yes, if you are in a position to give to one who has not, that person has prayed to God to give him, and God will direct you to you.
Sir, hello? Good morning. Hello?
Hello, it's no, you've got to game on. You try to get down to glimpse of ball.
Okay. Please, this is Living Radio. If you want to call us as it concerns this program, then we'll do that.
Yeah, you see, God has a way. He does his thing. He uses you and I. Sometimes when people come to me and ask me to give them one favor or the other, especially money, if they come and I do not have it, when they go, do you know what I tell God? Say, God, you see now, glory be to God. All the praises that ought to come to you. Because you didn't provide for me to give to that person. Because all the glories go to him. When you give to that person, you say, thank you, Jesus. You have made it possible for me to get this. If you do not provide for me to provide for them, glory ahiala. Ekele diri Chineke ahiala. Onye nwe m imeela ahiala. So God, you are God to those who need. He says, in as much as you have done to those little ones, to me you have given. So anybody you find that is in trouble, and that person happens to come to you, it is God that directs him to come. For instance, at that point I was going to Enugu. I know that my God cannot leave me stranded. He has promised me that there is nothing I ask him he cannot do. So when I set out Enugu, I simply called him. I said, God, I'm on my way to Enugu. You know, like I always tell him, I don't have money to be there. But you know that I need to be in Enugu for my journey to continue. How you will do it?
I don't know.
I don't know. The same thing when I went to interview for UBA employment. I also told him, you know, I am not doing all this certificate. You know, there is nothing that will ask me I can be able to answer. But I want to work in the bank. How you will do it? It's your business. And he does it. God is not interested in what you do. He is interested in why you are doing that. That thing you want to do. Will it bring glory? If you look at these people, you call them Rotary. The thing that nearly made me register with Rotary is their four-way sign or four-way thought of the things you want to say and do to others. They ask, is it the truth? Will it bring glory to that person? There is a way they put that 4 questions. Anything you want to do to anybody that does not answer these 4 questions, please don't do it.
All right, let us go straight to this 6th edition. Right now, we talked about St.Moses Vocational College, and then what happened in that St.Moses Vocational? How was it run, and how did it come to an end?
So when I came back, I sold that fridge.
The reason for going to Enugu?
Yes, I sold it. And it was my brother, the same brother I went, the same brother who, he asked me, how do I think I can just remove the fridge from his house he has been using? I said, I need money more than federal government. Money is what I need, not the fridge. If the fridge is what you need, give me money and carry it. She agreed and paid, I think it was 20 naira. There.
Fridge.
20 naira. And I came back with it. Advertised the day the school will resume. Did all my adverts, visited schools. I used that of the 20 naira to buy saw, chisel, hammer for my brother who knows technical. Then I had one rickety typewriter, very, very old typewriter. I know very well that the keys can move. And I don't know anything about repairing typewriter. So the day we resumed, my brother see teachers. There were more than 80 that came for interview.
With how many students?
One student didn't come. one student didn't come. I simply told them, go and bring students now, let's start. I have provided the classrooms. I have used the money I have to provide the board, the school board. You come with your locker, no locker. Teachers all over the place. No student. I call God to say, what do you do? God says, go and ask your brothers and sisters who are in other schools. Bring them. Let them stay 1 week. After 1 week, they can go back to their schools. That I did. I had 5 students from other schools who are my brothers and sisters.
You borrowed students?
I borrowed students. So do you know what parents do? If they come and there is nobody found, they said you have not started. So when they came and saw
at least 5
students being taught by teachers, they said they don't start. They went home and they brought their children and they registered. Before you know it, within the first time I had 16 students. Those my sisters and brothers went back to their schools. School don't start to be that. Teaching don't start.
So just like what the Abros do in the past.
But in the past, that is the Aboro system. A truck passenger, they will fill the vehicle. You think that the vehicle is filled. You don't know that there is no passenger in that vehicle.
That's what your experience in Lagos gave you. That
beautiful, because nobody wants to be said to be the only student in that school. Nobody wants to be. The only passenger is in the vehicle. No, driver, which time this vehicle go load? So you bring your passengers, they will fill the vehicle. One by one, they will be leaving. Then one by one, others will be coming. So that is what I did. And the school started. My brother, I had equipment. Like we have equipment in Living Television, Film Academy. I do not think there is a university or polytechnic that has the equipment we have in this Living Television Film Academy. None. Show me the one. I will tell you they don't have. But because those are universities that has names, people will go there. They have forgotten that what they have gone there to learn is a practical thing. Where are the equipment to practicalize it? No. Then you will see them starch their uniforms. Where do you school? They will mention the names. Where do you school? You mention this one. They say, which school be that? Now, backyard school. But that is where the equipment for broadcasting. At least here, we have radio station functional. Approved by NBC. We have television station functional. Approved by NBC. We have recording studios. If you want to do music. We have cinematography. Equipped. We have for costumes. We have all the effects that will make you know journalism.
Even Film Village.
Film Village. But they won't come because it does not have the name yet. It is not named. I will say it. If you do not wish to be forgotten soon after you are dead and rotten, you either do what is worth writing or write what is worth reading. If you do those two, you will die and your memory, your name will never be forgotten. So we started school. For 1 whole year, we had 16 students. But within this year, I have hired a woman. We had 75 looms to teach practical weaving. We had 8 hairdressing dryers. We had well-equipped carpentry department. Electronics, I went to Aba. There was an in-law of mine who was a radio mechanic. He folded and sold all the scrap radios and televisions to me. I put it in the school. The students were using it to know, and he was a teacher there. Mm-hmm. What is IC? What is this? What is that? My brother, we started. I was using those things I have to go back to the primary schools with the aquatic cloth we have weaved. When I was talking to primary school 6 pupils who are graduating into secondary school, the moment we open the wrapper, hey, what will we hear? Hey. My brother, when we resumed after holidays, I had 500 students.
That's great.
Trust in the Lord with all your might. Never you allow your immediate environment to determine your confession. I don't have money in my pocket. How can I do it? No. You're allowing your immediate circumstance
to determine
your confession. Look unto God. Tell him, Father, you promised me that do you know one thing God gave to us when he created us? He promised us shelter, clothing, food, and life. That you don't have a house today. When we get to the point at which I built my house, you will know that it is not how much you have in your pocket that will make you build a house. It is the will, the zeal, the determination, and trust in God. So we had up to 500 students. My brother, the problem now wasn't students again. It was the teachers and the accommodation. And God provided it. So when students came, we started learning. It is now registering. I had no registration. At that time, if you are not registered and you are not approved, the whole proprietors in Aba zone will come and fight you. We had what they called Approved Proprietors Union. The chairman then, like I told you, was Chief Edi Nzenkwa. On this beautiful day, we had my school has started booming. I became the talk of the town. Parents, because of this certificate syndrome, you have your certificate, you finish school, there will be no work for you. And at that time, the federal government had to introduce this 6334 system, where you do the primary 6, you do the junior secondary, you do the senior secondary, which is supposed to be purely technical skill. That is what they are not doing now. We have somebody who has finished JS3. He will enter SS3. During the JS3, you are supposed to learn skill. SS3, you now begin to know where to go. That was why then the federal government established workshops for every school that has SS3. And they equip it with equipment so that students will learn skill. So that when they come out, if there is no job, you will have something doing. That's why we are having graduates today who are keke drivers. There is no student that passed away from St.Moses Vocational College that never had one skill or the other. We were doing shoemaking, leather work. I went to the area and hired shoemakers who come to teach students on how to do shoes. We had radio, electrical teachers who would teach. Do you know at that time we were the school that was roofing every other government establishment? We have schools that air will blow off their roof. They will come to my school. What they will do is to buy the materials to re-roof the house or partition whatever they have. I will lend the students to them with their teacher who will go and roof the house. They will not pay them. the students will use it to do practicals. Because without those things available, they will also end up in theory.
Okay, the registration, what happened?
We went to
and so on.
Yes, I went to Lemedim. To Edinzenko. He says, St.Moses, you are registered. I have taken you to Lemedim. You have paid for the registration. That is all. I never knew the journey has not started. Until on this beautiful day, we came for March past October 1 at Obingwa. I didn't know that all the proprietors around have boasted that they will chase my students away out of the line parade ground. My student, one of my vocal students, we call, Ogbonna, they said they will chase out of the line on October 1. I said, okay. On October 1, we went there. My students were on the line. Other schools were on the line. Look at the whole approved proprietors, their union. They came. They insisted that my students will leave the line, that they will not march because they are not approved. I wasn't there. My dean of studies then, one on Naku, is from Ovungo here. Ovungo. Think Ovungo. He's now an elder in Seventh Adventist Church somewhere in Aba. He ran to me. Come, approved proprietors union say we must leave the line. I said, are they there now? They say yes. I said, okay, let's go. We went there, come and see this man. I was small then now. Very, very young, little person. But with the might of the Almighty strengthening me. I got there. I said, oh, guys, Zenko, you know you are my father. He said, hey, St.Moses, you have made a mistake. Why did you bring your students to march? School that is not approved. By then, I have told my students that we have been approved by the registration. It's an illegal school, unapproved school. You have come to march. I said, Oganzenko, you are my father. You took me to Wele. Say, no! What you have just paid is the registration fee. And they will come and inspect and give you approval. I will now announce. I said, please, sir, let us march. He said, you cannot. I said, do you know I call you my father? He said, yes. I give you every respect. That respect, look at it here. In my palm. I drop it on the floor. So I have matched it. What can you do? He said, Moses. I said, what can you do? He said, okay, Moses. I will now go to the high table and announce that St.Moses Vocational College be pushed out of the line. I said, Zenko, have you seen I have removed Oga? You are now in Zenko. You are no longer Oga. If you can hide, dodge, tiptoe, and by whatever means, go to any length of that high table and touch it, I will conclude and concede to you, you have concluded the announcement. If you see anybody from Vosisi along was out, Nyoshi, may ya pew 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 like a dog, Tambiarai. Yes, me. I'm not saying you will handle the microphone. That is too much for you. He said,
just get closer to the table.
It's a huge task. You cannot do that. I am giving you a very lesser one. You see how long that high table is? If you can by any means reach any level of any length of that table and touch it, I will consider you have concluded. Ojugo, what is your problem? Say, if you do that, will not blind him for pure. Or rushing. The next thing we had, St.Moses Vocational College, Alagondo. Stop them. Today, we have our independence. 11 pregnant women from the most interior village, if they come in here today and file, they will march to signify our freedom, total freedom. Then Magalo Kualamo Galotoko Gabriela Mad. They saw no. Hey, Ogaya say, you can't do that. Do it, let me show you. When you are walking with the Lord in the light of his ways, my brother, only his glory will show on your way. Look at me, a very small person with more than 30 proprietors. Hey, they started, the students marched and saluted. The moment they passed, I knelt down before Zemko. I said, Papa, I'm sorry. You couldn't have quenched the light I suffered, sold all my properties, and came here to establish. You want to quench it. You couldn't have done it. Let's go across the road. Let me entertain you people. I took them across the road, bought a drink.
And then the deed was already done.
Already done now. Ojugo asked me, please, what would you have done? I said, let's reserve it for another day. Everybody has a right. It is happening up till now. You will see people who will come to trample upon you, especially if you go to the police station. You see people at the cell because they don't have anybody. You feel they don't have anybody. They have God. If they call upon God, and God calls on the right people to come and save you, provided there is nothing you did or you committed, my brother, God says, I will stand by you. And my God stood by me.
All right, our wonderful listeners and viewers, I'm sure you enjoyed this episode. This is part 6 of Odyssey of St.Moses, the eventful journey of life by St.Moses Ogbonna. And I'm sure you enjoyed every bit of it. One moving from his village in Mvosit down to Inu without a transport fare, and just to sell his property to start a vocational college, even without registration and so on. And when they threatened to call them off from the line, you heard what happened. And also how he talked to the man. That is to say, that respect does not mean cowardice, but a cord can break when the respected does not reciprocate to that respect. That was exactly what happened. And he succeeded. And then, remember, from no student to a borrowed student, 5 borrowed students. From 5 borrowed students to 13. From 13 to 500 students. All the works of God. Well, we are going to stop here today. Next time we are going to continue. There are still many more of this for you to learn. As you listen, you learn too many things. All his teaching is one thing, putting your trust in God. It is not all about how many times you go to church. It is trust. It is not, you don't allow your environment to determine your confession. You heard him say that. And that is where we are stopping for today. St.Moses, thank you for another episode for today.
Thank you very much, Prof.
And then keep a date with us until we come your way again. Bye for now.